Just a foul on Sophie Cunningham. They call that a foul on Sophie Cunningham. She's got 14.
Hello, guys. Welcome back. There's a lot to unpack from the Indiana Fever versus Minnesota Lynx game because fans are furious over some of the officiating, and now Dave Portnoy is joining the conversation. After watching the game, one sequence stood out above everything else. Sophie Cunningham took an elbow directly to the face, yet somehow the whistle went against her instead of the offensive player. Seriously? How does that make any sense? Sophie Cunningham gets hit in the face, and she's the one called for the foul? If that's really how the rules are supposed to work, then every time Aliyah Boston gets elbowed while defending in the paint, she should automatically be awarded free throws. But that's obviously not what happens. Somehow, when it's Sophie Cunningham playing defense, the standard completely changes. People online were joking, saying your head shouldn't have been where her elbow ended up. But in almost any other game, that type of contact would at least be reviewed for a flagrant foul on the offensive player. Instead, the Indiana Fever ended up on the wrong side of the whistle once again. And that wasn't the only controversial moment. Olivia Miles slapped Kelsey Mitchell across the face during a drive, then later, whether it was accidental or not, appeared to catch Caitlin Clark's feet while Clark was in the air, sending her crashing to the floor. After saying all of that, Dave Portnoy couldn't stay quiet. He summed up the frustration shared by many fans with one sarcastic comment. Sophie just got 17 of her teeth knocked out, and they called her for the foul. That reaction perfectly captured how unbelievable many viewers felt the officiating was throughout the game.
How about a WNBA refs? This is just a defensive foul. Thank you for the review. Just a defensive foul. No hostile act. Just a foul on Sophie Cunningham. They call that a foul on Sophie Cunningham. She's got 14 of her teeth on the ground. That's a defensive foul. And they reviewed it for a hostile act. Yeah, Sophie's saying, hey, I just got my jaw broke. Is this a political stance? You just took 14 of my teeth. Quiet, Sophie, no big deal. A defensive foul. Let's watch this one more time. This is on Sophie? No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Elbow to the jaw to 14 teeth gone. That's offensive, bruh. Yeah, Sophie, you got your face knocked in. We see it.
Yeah, and listen, I readily admit I'm a big user of X, formerly known as Twitter. And the algorithm can get pretty wild. So my algorithm is heavy WNBA. It's heavy Caitlin Clark. It's heavy Sophie Cunningham. It's heavy trans rights. It's heavy anti-trans. Like, it's everything I see. So I readily admit maybe I'm living in a bizarro world where it's not the number one story everyone's seeing at this particular moment, but it is for me. And I don't even know really how we got here, but the Indiana Fever, they're a lightning rod for everything. So let's start there. Are you guys seeing all this, or is it just me?
No, I see it. I see it. I think Sophie is escaping.
Does it dominate your feet?
She's getting out of the WNBA bubble.
Sophie's broke through.
Yeah.
She shows up quite often, and I saw the drama around her saying that.
And we tried to have her on the show. I thought we were going to have her. It's crazy. We were very close to hiring her. Like, she was this close to being a Barstool employee doing a podcast with this, and it fell through at the end, and she's become a major star. But and equally loved and hated across the aisle. I mean, she's going to games now. So she had comments, and I don't know what stemmed, like what she was responding or what spawned them, but she basically said she didn't think biological
males should be allowed to play.
Transgender should play in women's sports. This has gone nuclear. There's protests for and against her at every arena she's going into now. She's being booed. She's being cheered. The coach yesterday at Minnesota Lynx, Cheryl Reeves, wore a T-shirt that's a direct basically, I don't want to say shot at her, but it kind of was. It's like trans rights T-shirts.
Trans kids belong.
Yep. So ESPN is talking about it, and it's blown into a major story. And here they are having this conversation. Again, I don't think that's an overly controversial statement to say, by the way, that you don't think like trans should be in girls' sports. Now, I also don't lose sleep over it. Like if someone feels one way or the other, I don't know what age we're talking. Like if you're playing under 8, and I don't even know when, I don't want to make it political. It seems like such a small percentage of people. I don't know how this story is so big and why people are so adamant both ways. And I don't think it speaks to Sophie other than this one issue. Like people try to say she feels this way. She must be MAGA. She must be this. Caitlin Clark's getting dragged into it. They're asking. It's a nuclear story on something that I don't know how many people it actually affects. And here's how I look at it. If you can't have Danny Almonte, Little League superstar, being like, I want to be a girl and dominating Little League All-Stars. But if you have a bunch of kids and none of it matters, and again, I don't want to get the age, who cares? So it's crazy to me that this story is that big, and I don't think Sophie Cunningham said anything that is that crazy or worthy of this type of controversy. But like with anything in the WNBA, it takes on a world of its own. And something that you're like, oh, this shouldn't be that big of an issue. Suddenly, Caitlin Clark is the devil because she won't speak up on both sides. It's a crazy, crazy league, and I still haven't decided whether it's overall good for the league or bad for the league because all anybody does is talk about the league.
I keep watching the replay over and over again, and I still can't figure out how that ends up being a defensive foul on Sophie Cunningham. Explain that to me, because my brain simply can't process it. And while we're talking about it, where was the reaction from the Indiana Fever coaching staff? Where was Stephanie White? Where was Austin Kelly? Where was Briann January? Whoever the other assistant coach was, where was anyone actually getting in the officials' faces and demanding an explanation? Instead, what did we see? We saw coaches trying to calm everyone down. Briann January was telling Sophie Cunningham to relax, relax. Austin Kelly looked ready to move on and head back to the bench. Stephanie White appeared to be standing there with folded arms while the officials continued with the game. If your player just got hit in the face and somehow gets called for the foul herself, shouldn't somebody be absolutely furious? Seriously, make it make sense. And that wasn't the only controversial sequence. Earlier in the game, Olivia Miles appeared to catch Caitlin Clark's feet while Clark was in the air, sending her crashing to the floor. Was it intentional? Personally, I'm not ready to make that claim. Basketball is a fast game. Players kick their legs out all the time on drives and layups, and awkward collisions happen. You can call it terrible timing or an unfortunate basketball play. I'm willing to leave it there. But another play is much harder to brush aside. Olivia Miles also caught Kelsey Mitchell across the face during a drive. Now, if someone wants to argue that was accidental too, they're free to do that, but I'm not buying it nearly as easily. Here's why. Think about Kelsey Mitchell as a player. People criticize parts of her game all the time. They'll say she shoots too much. They'll say she dribbles too much. They'll say she's overly aggressive offensively. Fine, those are basketball opinions. But one thing people don't accuse Kelsey Mitchell of is flopping. She isn't known for exaggerating contact. She doesn't spend games trying to fool referees. She usually takes hard hits, gets right back up, and keeps playing. That's been her reputation throughout her career. So when Kelsey Mitchell immediately reacts after getting hit in the face, I'm not just going to assume she's trying to sell a whistle. That's simply not who she has shown herself to be. As for the Caitlin Clark play, again, I can understand people viewing it as an unfortunate basketball collision. The kicking motion doesn't automatically prove intent. I've seen players extend their legs on finishes plenty of times. Was it unnecessary? Maybe. Was it intentional? I'm not prepared to say that. But the Sophie Cunningham sequence is another story entirely. Sophie Cunningham gets elbowed in the face, and somehow she's charged with the defensive foul. Think about how ridiculous that sounds when you actually say it out loud. It's almost like saying, Sophie Cunningham headbutted an elbow, $50 penalty, repeat first down. That's the level of sarcasm fans have reached because the call seems so unbelievable. Not surprisingly, social media exploded after the game. One fan wrote, "Yeah, we're about to see a run of aggressive fouls against Sophie Cunningham go uncalled by WNBA officials like we've never seen." Another added, "She was getting fouled yesterday." Others didn't hold back either. WNBA is pure trash. WNBA is far more corrupt than the NBA, and that's saying a lot. "I agree," another comment read. WNBA refs called a foul on Sophie Cunningham for hitting a player's full-speed elbow with her jaw while standing still, sending a message to any other player who wants to stand up for women in women's sports. Another fan asked, "Do they even understand the rules of basketball anymore?" Others posted comments like, "The WNBA is almost as corrupt as the UN. Unreal what's happening in this league, and I wish Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark would just leave because the league doesn't deserve them." Some even argued the league was trying to push Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark out altogether. Dave Portnoy also weighed in, echoing the frustration many fans were already expressing online. Toward the end of the discussion, even more serious accusations started appearing across social media. Some people called for investigations into league officiating, betting activity, game fixing, point shaving, and gambling influences. Those are significant allegations, and as of now, there is no public evidence proving those claims. They remain opinions and speculation shared by frustrated fans reacting to what they viewed as poor officiating. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did the officials get these calls right, or do you think the Indiana Fever were on the wrong end of several major decisions? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and as always, take care.